Yo, everybody. I want to say happy Sunday to you. Happy 2025 too, right? Discreet. It's our first
Yeah, mate.
episode with our first special guest of
Exactly that.
2025. We took a
Yep.
little reprieve for the holiday season, especially with everything that, Discreet, you and I have had going on in our life. And I am very happy today
It's
to have
important. It's important to sort of rest over the holidays, and then it normally does take a minute to get going again, doesn't it?
Man, ain't that the truth? So
Mm.
I am so excited to be back out here outside. We opened that door today with SeeReal, the genius. We're going to give you the proper introduction here in a quick little minute. But anybody that's tuning in for the first time, or if you're reopening that door with us, we pop outside. That's why it's called the We Outside Livecast. We want to get outside with people who are organic, authentic, and are just real people. Like there's no mirrors. We're just gonna have some real motherfucking conversation today with SeeReal, the genius. Discreet's gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. That's what this live conversation, the live
Don't
cast is
smoke,
all
just vape
about.
smoke.
Nothing more, man. Truth, Discreet. Make sure we pop out at this time Sunday with a special guest, and then Fridays we run our hip hop history segment. We always want to make sure that we're paying homage to the people that came before us, the people that keep it real and kept it real. And we always want to give our flowers and our salutes to people on our hip hop history segment as well. So that's on Fridays. And today is Sunday. And like I said at the top of the show, we got SeeReal, who right now is residing in Alberta, Canada, originally out the way from Nova Scotia. It's definitely a little cold, no matter what area we're talking about, right, bro? So,
what temperature was that again? Tell us again.
The temperatures right now, shoot, it could probably be like -10. Let me see. Yeah, no, it's -3. Ain't feeling like -7. It's actually getting warmer because we had winter in October where it starts like this. But this year, for everybody, like anywhere in Canada or even the States, winter was different for everybody. Like people start getting the snow that they used to get. You go outside and be like, "What? I didn't see this much snow going up like since years ago, right?" So it's different, but it was more colder than it was supposed to be. And I just had to come up and seen all the snow, and I'm just like, this is a little different for me.
Yeah, never seen something like this before.
No, and it's a dry cold, right? So you can stand up there for hours
Yeah.
and don't even know you have frostbite till you walk in.
Yeah. Flipping
But
hell,
as
man.
long as you bundle up, you're pretty good. And that's pretty much on that theory.
No, that's just cold, bro. I think that the coldest I've ever personally experienced, I was up in Montana years ago at this point, and we were leaving for a flight out of Montana at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Driving to the airport, it was like -18 getting in the car.
Damn.
-18. Woo!
No thank you.
Wow. The coldest I've ever experienced is -5 Celsius, which is nothing compared to you guys.
No, it's not.
Wait, so you guys think that's cold? Oh, wow, I thought England was colder.
No. Like in my 43 years, I've only known it in the minus to be 5 in my lifetime. There's probably a record below that, but I've never experienced it.
This world's so different, man. You never know any other cold. Like the coldest I ever experienced before was like -10 it would get. And I think that was cold. When I started coming up here, I'm like, no. But the wet cold is different than the dry cold. So you would rather have the dry cold because the wet cold,
big difference.
that would hit your whole bones as soon as you walk in.
Yes.
Like you know it's cold. Dry cold,
Exactly.
you'll never know when it's cold until it gets like -50. Like, yeah, of course, like that's pretty huge.
No, you know what?
That,
That is so true because I live for the last 13 years. I've lived in Colorado and I'm in Oklahoma right now. I'm moving to Kansas City. But in the 13 years that I've experienced that dry cold, like you're talking about, it's so different because I used to live out in Connecticut on the East Coast. And man, that humid cold, like you literally put it perfectly. And I've never heard anybody else describe it that way. Literally, you feel it in your bones. Like
Oh yeah, I'm from the
It,
East Coast, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Nova Scotia is kind of like New York.
yep,
Like
Damn.
just a little further
we
north.
wild and we aggressive like New Yorkers. That's why a lot of New York people got a lot of respect for me because like the East Coast, like when you go down to Toronto, they really think they were like New York people.
Hmm.
They
Mm.
tell us, oh, them Scotian people are crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it like I'm like crazy, but I do have them type of moments. But ever since I turned Muslim, pretty much I'm very more peaceful. Like I kind of let
Yeah.
stuff go. I take my religion to a huge different level, and I spread it out with a lot of stuff. I never was Muslim until I moved over here, and people like, well, how did you just come Muslim on it? I studied it for years. I just never told nobody.
No, I can appreciate that, and there's a lot of, and I think that's excuse me. I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have about the Muslim faith, right? Like I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, very, very diverse. One of my best friends growing up, Hassan, his brother Parviz, um, are Muslim and very much practice it. Their father as well, very heavy in the culture. So I learned a lot about the Muslim
Yeah.
culture, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions that
I
people
like the
get
way you
twisted.
said it. You said Muslim right. So some people stuttered on not saying it right. You know what I mean? So there's a certain way to say it. Muslim, like you did it. So you already know.
And I did. I grew up around a lot of Turkish people as well. I mean, I started working when I was 11 years old, and I grew up around a lot of Turkish people who are of that faith as well. And there's a lot of similarities in a bunch of different religions. But the point, obviously, I was trying to make at the top, there's a lot of misconceptions about
Mm.
it. And again, I think my point of view is okay, and y'all can agree with me, not agree with me, or take however you want to put your take on it. It's media, right? It's media, it's the masses that give anybody, whether it's the Muslim faith or anything else, its own brand, right? When that might not really be the case. And that's why we love having these conversations with real people such as yourself.
I'm,
See real.
I'm,
So I'll go ahead.
I'm definitely gonna say something. So the problem is there's so many people getting taught wrong of what they believe and not going off of whatever that facts is. So like how the Christians believe that Jesus is God, and then the Muslims we don't. We pray to Allah. It's like everything that is pretty much told in whatever scenario, they're all the same scenarios, but they're all taking up big pieces. That's why so many people get confused on who God is. It's all the
Mm.
same God, but every
Yeah.
piece was been taken out and told up not the right way. So when like as a Muslim we get taught the right way, some people are like, oh, that's the wrong way. But then there's other Muslims that will practice like we practice Louis Farrakhan. All
Mm.
praise to Louis Allah Farrakhan. That's what we go off. And there's certain people that will go off of certain other things. So everybody goes off something, but you can't let it go. I'm like, oh well, that's not the right way. But in our heart, we know what our way is. I don't. Muslims, we don't ever try to put nobody down. That's why when like Christians come after us, it's bad. Like oh yeah, they start saying Jesus is Lord. They do it all the time. Every time I speak about God, and it's like we didn't even ask you to say nothing. We didn't even try to put you on. We just I
Mm-hmm.
tell certain people like if you really want to know about like the difference, read the Quran. It will tell you
Mm.
certain stuff. The book is so good that it literally looks like God wrote it himself. And everybody that has read it became a Muslim.
Damn.
They try to argue with me and say no. I'm like you won't read it. When you read it, you'll like, this sounds so much way better than the Bible. But
Mm.
everything's the same thing. It's just the correct stuff is into the Quran.
Mm.
And they were like, oh well, was God Jewish? God had all kinds of things into it. Like some people believe God is a a man or a spirit. Some people believe, oh well, once he was a man and turned to a spirit. The correct form is I can't really say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know myself as being a Muslim. I
Mm.
go off what I'm taught, But for real, like that's like if you see something in the sky, we say, "Oh, that's a drone, that's a
The thing
UFO."
is, it's
You
like
don't know
everyone.
until you see it.
Until you
Yeah,
actually know. You can
So
and no,
no,
hypothesize
like
like you're talking about, but like unless
nobody's
you
come back
actually
to tell
have
them,
yeah, like unless you actually have the
now
proof.
innit?
when people go too bad,
I'm
like,
looking
"Oh, I
forward to
can't
it.
see
Check out.
God." Yeah, I said when people go so bad and say, "Oh, I can't see God, so why should I believe in God?" I'm like, well, you can't see a lot of things, but you believe in it.
Mm,
You saying that, "Oh, well, I don't believe that I'll be rich." I mean, you believe in it, and then and you turn it to reality. See,
mm,
the things what people don't understand, certain stuff will come reality if you make it reality.
yes,
Now, if you believe that that people believe that there's not a God, well, come on, you got to break it down.
of course there is,
Things can't just be formed like that.
innit? Of
Hmm.
course there is.
I-
There is.
And they put it in the movies and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm.
Like, if you ever watch Avatar,
Oh
Avatar is
yeah.
a big
I
thing
didn't
that
watch
will
it,
they
but
show you when they go ahead.
I didn't watch Avatar.
Okay, so how Avatar is, do you know about it?
I know about it, but I never watched it.
Oh, you
I
you
know
got to
about
watch it
the
discreet.
new blue
You
guys
should
It's
watch
in
it.
dope.
So
different planet.
you
And
remember all them trees they had, bro?
I've seen clips of it.
And they cut them down. That's what they did
No.
back in the day to lose
Mm.
people's ear.
Hmm.
See,
Damn.
a lot of things nowadays they put in movies and TV shows, and people just like, "Oh yeah, that's good, that's good."
But it's
They
actually
they
things that happen.
things that happen.
Absolutely.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like if you really look up certain stuff, like and I've heard you guys heard of the 9/11, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Right. So
Excuse
there's
me.
certain stuff that they did in certain type of TV shows that you can find to implant how they did it.
Mm.
And
Simpsons.
that's the thing.
The
That's the
Simpsons seem
thing,
to
man.
predict a lot of
It's
things.
right.
The Simpsons is
So
a massive culprit for it.
right. So now the thing what I'm starting to learn, it took me a
Mm.
while. I'm 31 now, right?
Mm.
When certain stuff come on TV, I don't just watch TV just to watch TV. I watch TV to learn and educate. There's a lot of stuff that
Exactly.
they would do, but people don't use that brain. So
No.
when they don't use that brain, they like, well, how can I know certain stuff? I'm just gonna guess. And, the internet, social media is killing the youth.
Oh
You
Mm.
see
man.
too much stuff, man. Like it's like, and they believe it. I could post
Mm.
up right now that I'm about to, I won $1 million. Everybody believes it.
Someone will, yeah.
You'll have one person like, he's cat. Like, let me
Yeah.
see his. Like, what's going on? How did you win that?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's a director type person, right?
yeah.
So to break it down, it's like people just gotta, use their mindset more. I feel like when we were back in the
I'll
old
tell
days,
you what,
everybody
if
was
I
using
won
their
$1 million,
mindset.
I wouldn't be telling nobody.
No, I wouldn't
Man.
either. Like, come on, that's $1 million. You know
I
how
wouldn't
many
be
people
telling
gonna
no
rob
one.
you, and everybody want to be your friend? Like,
Innit?
that's a lot of money, right?
Innit?
So I seen
It's
you got a question there. Who is SeeReal? Okay, I gotta say who SeeReal is. All right.
Mm.
Anything you guys want to ask me, so the people want to know, I'm open to say it.
yeah. No,
Cool.
yeah. I'll go ahead and kind of ask the first thought I have.
Mm.
Because you're a producer, you're a rapper. What's like I never know how to ask this question, right? Because it's like, oh, what's your style? What's your background? So let me just ask it this way: like, when it comes to your music in general, what's the message that you're trying to convey through your music? I think that's the best way to really ever ask, that. You know what I mean?
People ask me these questions a lot. I'm really just trying to set a trend for the youth. Like I'm just trying to keep real hip hop going, like real type of music, letting people know just be real, be yourself. Like the whole name "See Real." I'm surprised you guys never asked that, but I'm actually gonna tell you.
Oh,
Um,
I was
I,
gonna get round to
I
it.
Oh, we
that
we
name
always
"See."
get to that. We always get to that.
I
So
knew it
Yeah.
was
perfect segue.
coming,
Go ahead.
right? So
Go
I was
go
like,
go
let me
ahead. Go
bring it
ahead.
up. So the name "SeeReal" came from my cousin. Pretty much died. He had two heart attacks. The second one killed him.
Mm,
We were in the
Oh, rest
car
in peace,
smoking
man.
one time, and it's like I don't know. It was like a spirit of him. Something came out, and he's like, "Yo, like You need a real rap name that's gonna stick. And I'm like, I don't really put myself as a rapper. But, I'm starting to indulge into that. So he's like, man, call yourself SeeReal. At first he said Tyrell, and I'm like, yo, I like SeeReal. I said, so
Mm.
why SeeReal? He
Got a
said,
nice
well, the
brain.
way you are, you represent a bigger picture. You see the bigger picture before anybody sees the small picture. Like you
Mm.
know what real is. You're authentic. Like you're your own you. Like you're not
Mm.
a copycat or fornicated to be somebody that you're not. You're literally
Mm.
saying like, hey, if I tell you guys right now, I'm on the show. I'm on the show. Most people will flame coat and all that stuff. Won't tell the truth. Like,
See the
I'm
real.
telling the truth about every single situation. Like, I even have a brand that's only SeeReal that I gotta bring back out. But there's so much things you doing on your own. Like, it's
Oh
gotta take time, right?
yeah, I feel that.
Well, I can
Dude, but
appreciate that. I can appreciate that as well. And discreet, because I just went through a name change as an artist as well. And you know, th- similar to you, SeeReal. In the beginning, like when I started doing this, it was for fun. It was just, more of a hobby. But and so I took the moniker that I did, from my grandmother back in the day, because she grew up. I grew up with her living with us, and she kind of gave me the name. But then it was like, kind of similar to the way I asked you that question, like what's the image slash message of your music. Like as I started to kind of grow and progress over the last 7 months for myself, it was like coming up with a name. It's kind of hard if you want something that's just going to
Mm-hmm.
be organic and authentic, right? And so finally, after months and months and months of going through so many different things, I was just like, yo, man, I'm just me. I'm just me. So like, Mikey P.
Mikey
That's
B.
just who the fuck I am. And I think as an artist, I very much appreciate how you shared the story of how you got your name, because it's real. It's not like this just
Mm.
made
I'm
up,
not gonna fabricate nothing, man. I keep it 100. I'm not
as you
many
should. So
people like me.
I appreciate that, and being able to have conversations with individuals such as yourself, specifically on the show, because we chop it up every so often, behind the scenes, anyways. But being able to get to share, who you are and the type of individual you are as
Yeah.
a person and as an artist, and how that translates, right?
Right.
um
Yeah, it's like when I first got Rob Discreet, when someone first called me it, I was like, oh my god, that is me. I really like that. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause it was just so
See,
fitting.
you
it's
discreet,
amazing.
like you just to yourself, but you see the big picture.
Well, how it came about, my second name's Wheatley, and when I was with my friends quite a lot, I'd get phone calls now and again to go and see someone else, which I didn't want to talk about. I won't talk about, not online anyway. And I'd be like, right, I'll get a phone call, and then everyone would be like, where are you going? I'd be like, nowhere, I just got to go. And then one of my friends went, Discreet Wheat, and everyone just burst out laughing,
That's
and it
cool. I
stuck.
like that,
I
man.
loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah, they call me another
I don't like
nickname.
no one. I don't like anyone knowing what I'm up to if it's a bit dodgy.
Well, that's like me too. Like like they call me another nickname. Used to call me Ghost Man. Like, cause
Mm,
I always ghost people, man. Like I wouldn't tell nobody what I'm doing, and I'm gone. You know what I mean? And then all of a
exactly.
sudden they get me,
It's
and
the
I'm
best
still like
way.
that, right? But
Even your best friends. Don't just, if there's the less people you tell, the less likely things will
I
go
ain't tell
bad.
you anything that I tell anybody. People only know what you tell them. Why
Just
is
lock all the
OG told
doors.
me that? If people
Do
only
you know
know
what
what
I
you
mean?
tell them, that's why I don't tell too much.
All the doors closed, no one can get in.
Exactly. It's like when somebody does a crime, people only know unless you tell everybody you did that crime.
Exactly. The moment you tell one person, man, like the whole world could know the
So
next day. You just don't know who they're going
what?
to tell, and then you don't know the person they've told,
So I don't.
and you don't even know that person or what their mentality. They don't know you, so they're just going to tell everyone.
It's crazy that like something happened down here in Alberta. Like this man's got his thing, and he went viral on TMZ. Like his penis was stuck to the ground. Like my sister was going on about that last night. Like he went viral. Like I'm surprised you guys ain't never heard that. He's on TMZ right now. Like Alberta and Nova Scotia have been on TMZ. Like he was
Damn.
blind drunk. He's like, "Oh my god, you know, I woke up famous," and I'm like, "I was like, when
not
my
for the
sister
right
told me
reasons,
that,
bro.
I wasn't even trying to pay
Yeah, not for
attention
the
to it
right
because I'm like,
reasons.
that's wild. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they had that.
Damn.
Like, I'm just like, that's too much.
Fucking hell.
Man,
Shit.
man,
Says,
that's
what's
wild.
in the name origins? What's that mean?
So just because we were just talking about names in general, I just threw that up there so people knew what we were talking about.
Oh, okay, I
But
get what you're doing.
but at the same time, that leads me to this question: when did you start rapping? When did you start doing music?
I was going to ask that.
Uh,
When did it
yeah,
all
when did it all
start?
begin for you? Where did it originate? There you
Yeah.
go.
How
Elementary,
did it?
man. I met this dude. He was actually a Muslim. That's so crazy. Name was Shirai Muhammad. We wrote our first song, and like it was in the whole class called Rolling Spinners. Like we were little kids, man. We wasn't like riding around rolling
No way.
spinners, you know. And it's crazy. Like
No
I
way.
still remember the song. Like we were just like, what was it like? Yeah, we ain't no winner. But we rolling spinners. We ain't no winners, but we rolling spinners. Like it was just so catchy. Everybody's like, "Yo, that sounds dope." And after that, I just took it after,
No
and
way.
I never stopped rapping. You know, I had a lot of people tell me, you know, "Oh, you're offbeat." I got people that really like, really
What
now
year
with
was
me
that?
in
What
the.
do you
What's that?
know? So, what like year was that? Was it in like the early
Man,
'90s,
I was like probably like
mid '90s?
I was a kid. It was like when I was 14 or something, 15. Like I was young,
So
young.
17 years
You're
ago. So
31.
I probably wrote like songs after that, but that's when I actually like written a song to record. Like I think
I'm just trying to like figure out the era that was
probably was
and
like
see what your influences would have been.
my influences. I grew up to Nas, and I grew up to
Yeah.
Biggie. Who else was I grew up to? Believe it or not, man, P Diddy was an influence at the time. You know what I mean? He
I had a
still
few
was
of
a
his
rapper,
CDs
man,
myself.
right?
They're all broke now
Puff
for some
Daddy and
reason.
grew
I've
up.
smashed them up.
Yeah, Puff Daddy and grew up to that era.
hmm
It's like I grew up to a lot of the old music, right? So I never 50 Cent was a big one, man.
Hmm.
yeah.
He definitely was.
Oh
I
yeah,
just never listened to him
definitely.
back
How
in the
can you
day
ignore? You can't ignore him.
because he was so brutal on what he said, right? Even though he's making like
Sounded. You knew he
Yes.
meant it. You knew he was really involved in this shit.
right, because like and that was the big one too, 50, and you know it turned into someone like Ace Hood, but I grew up to a lot of that 2000s in music, like when you used to hear
Yeah,
DJ Unk, he just
Yeah.
died recently.
Yeah, man. Like 2-3
Walk It
days
Out,
ago.
Step
yeah.
Out.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, man, 43. That's a
Yeah,
legend.
man.
I
It's
remember that
sad.
song be hitting the parties like, yeah, and I walk it out, and I walk it out.
Yo, bro,
Let me
I'm not gonna
twist
lie. I
it,
will still throw
twist
that song.
it.
If I'm like out in the car by myself and I'm just like, yo, I will just run that track randomly every so often because yo, it's such a vibe. It
You
is that
got it,
track is
man.
such
That,
a like
that guy, he put songs out that you could never put out again. He had the
yes.
DJ Unk records.
Mm.
That was also another one. Baby D was in there. Baby D had a song. It's like about money, but you know, I know I grew up into that era, so that's when probably what you hear
That era
my
is irreplaceable.
right. So that's why I'm still like rapping like similar like that, but I switch up my style a little bit because grew up in that 2000 hearing them songs like Mike Jones.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just talk about Mike Jones. And you know, remember back then they didn't want me. Now they all over. You know, I grew up in that type of era.
yeah,
Like, and it's funny they were
yeah,
laughing at Mike Jones because he didn't have that many fans at his thing. To me, if you can make 10 grand for that many, oh, you can laugh at
Yo,
me.
yeah.
you know
You
what?
can laugh at me.
It's actually
It's funny. I was talking to Discreet about this, I think last week, to the point that you're making right there, SeeReal, as far as like fans, right? You know, do you want to be the artist
mm,
who was it? It was God, somebody else that I saw this morning or yesterday made essentially the point, like, you know, do you want 1 million people that just like know about you and like know your face or whatever? Oh, he did a song, she did a song, whatever. Or do you want to be the type of artist to the point that you were making that you're making a real impact to people or people are really connecting to you? It's because like, take it from this perspective. You could find 1,000 people right? 1,000 people that are really feeling what you're doing from an artistry and music standpoint, and they'll spend $100 on you in 1 year, whether that's through merch, going to shows, buying your music, whatever. 1,000 people, $100 a year, that's $100,000. So depending on what you're, and whether it's the money or like for me as an artist, I never do this for money. Like I want to just get messages out there. I want to connect with people through art and through my music as well. And that's really it. Like I just want to get messages. If something becomes of that, hey, cool. It'd be nice to at least make the money back for all the money that goes into production, right? Or traveling where you got to do to get production, or buying the beats, or whatever the case might be, right? But I think if you go more authentic and organic with your intent as an artist of any kind, I think that you're going to be more likely to make that connection with the 1,000 fans that would be willing to pay you $100 a year in some way, shape, or form for what you're producing and putting out there as a service. Is that something that you agree with, SeeReal? What are your thoughts on that?
I agree
I want your thoughts on that
with
too.
it. I'm gonna tell you this, man. Check this out. You guys ever watch the show Boondocks?
Oh yes.
So the guy that made that song on the with Riley, he follows me. And what's so crazy, man? I known him from certain other people, and he from New Jersey, right? So we talk, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man. Well, definitely we can get down with the cloud." I'm like, "Bro, I gotta ask him, like, yo, so what made you start?" He's like, "Man, I grew up in the air in New Jersey." So I think the one that are most authentic rappers, New Jersey, New York, and Philly. These guys really grew up in the hip hop air, so that's why they're so good with words.
And shout out to Redman.
They're like,
he's from New Jersey.
Redman just dropped a whole new friggin' album.
Muddy Waters.
I know.
On repeat, man.
I love it.
That's what. Let me speak now. So now I went with the Redman, Method Man. I grew up to that type of stuff. Wu-Tang. That people don't think I'm hip hop, but I still listen to that. But I'm like, we're in the era now where you gotta actually like say something for the young kids so they can listen. You know what I mean? So I got the own style mixed in with the hip hop and the dirty soul. It's my own style, and I'm still trying to find my sound. Like the way my voice, because one of my dudes, shout out to It's the Fresh, he actually broke it down. He's older than me. He's like, "Yo, he's from Houston, so your voice is your instrumental too. So you use your voice in the instrumental when you say words the way certain words is, and how it matches, and that's what I'm starting to get like." And now to bring it back to people performing with like not that, man, I never had this many people hit me up ever, and it just started happening because here's the thing I tell everybody: stick in your own lane. I got my own song out right now called "In My Own Lane," and everybody's like, "Why'd you make that?" Because I really found a lane for me. When I started sticking with me and doing me, that's when everybody started wanting to fuck with me. That's the crazy part about it. People started hitting me up. I actually had the big 7 from like New Jersey look at my shit all the time. Don't follow me. Look at my shit. I seen one of my people that knows he don't I don't think he knows him. He just pop up Ace Hood. Tells me certain shit. And
Ace Hood, no way.
I'm crazy. It's crazy to the point to think like you just gotta keep doing you, man. And people are gonna pop up like you don't even know them. Like in the masses of people that don't do music are gonna tell you certain shit. Oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And then when all of a sudden you get with these big people on, like it's crazy. I did a music video and I started putting the videos up because I see everybody's attention span is low. They pay attention more to that than you would pay attention to your song. Every time I put it up, all kinds of crazy love, man. I don't even ask for nothing. I stay in my own lane. You know what I mean? And I see who people walk with me. I can tell already who people don't walk with me. And I always try to tell people don't like block the ones that are trying to be negative. If they looking at you and let them be there. They're gonna eventually become a supporter. I've had people for years that didn't fuck with me, and then all of a sudden I move, fuck with me now. Everything takes its time, man. Everything got to run your course. But you know what? The problem is people in life now, and I can tell you this is a big lesson to everybody watching. We are all too worried about what everybody else got going on, not worried about what we got going on and what we can do to make that happen got going on like everybody else got going on. I don't
That's so
sit there
true.
and go through everybody's story, man. Like I got my own shit to focus on. But if we really doing something, I'll check. But I see certain people every day, man. That's all they do. In my story, in my story, in my story, in my story. And I'm like, if you got someone like you guys, like yo, what we're checking on, he's on. We're trying to see what he got going on. Because we fuck with him, we support him. We like, yeah, I salute. But everybody else, man, it's just like I always told this. I made this quote: the fake are never gonna be awoke. The real, they stay awoke.
Mm.
It's just easy like that. You can't expect someone. Fake people is a character for them. You gotta let them fake their character. That's always gonna be them. You can't turn nobody real.
Yeah.
People are just gonna be real
No.
if they're gonna be real, and people know that they're being
Exactly.
fake. If they want to be real,
Yeah.
they will do it when the time is right.
Yeah.
Everybody real, man. When only the time is right
But
for
I
them.
feel like I always,
You-
I always feel like you can see right through it. I can anyway.
Oh, 100%, bro. Like
if
I've
you
been
if
around
you're in
so much.
tune, well,
I gotta tell you this story. I
no, go ahead.
I
Yeah.
was messing with a girl. She left me for dead. I seen that
Mm.
situation coming, and like other than that, now when I go to parties, man, or anywhere, I walk into that party for like 5 minutes. Hey, what's up? Because of all the trauma I seen. If I go to a party, I'll spin the
Mm.
block 15 times. It's like an OCD limit.
Damn.
People like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know when something's gonna happen. Man, I went to a party one time in a hotel. I
Yeah.
seen. I told the owner, like, I said, okay. I said, man, buddy's drink over there is lit, and this person was over there talking. I watched the whole surroundings. He's like, how did you know that? I said, yeah, someone about to walk in a couple minutes. I'm like, hold on. Boom, somebody comes in with all freaking like they had. I don't know what they
Fucking.
had on them, but I know they had guns on them. I knew who they were. I'm like, yo,
Hmm.
yo, 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 no, it's good, it's good. Let me stop this. What's going on? And it's funny because I see my
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
sister with me in certain shit. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what's going on? I stopped that. They thanked me that I was there because if it wasn't, someone probably would have got killed. In the area that I'm from, like no Nova Scotia, people like, yo, I didn't know that was that much violence down there. Like we just had a murder like a while ago, like two, one around
Damn.
New Year. Like people just killing people just to kill people. We're like a small Chirac. That's
Mm.
why I left my city because that never changed, and I was around people that were doing that,
Yeah.
and I was around people that think that shit was cool. Fucking cool,
It's
man.
sad. It's
Like
it's really sad.
It's
it's like to the point you grew
Give
up so much
people
in that
nothing.
era that you had to change that mindset.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm around the rich type neighborhood and around the type people like I still keep that demeanor, but I'm like I'm never gonna forget where I'm from. But that trauma is
Exactly.
off your environment of what you went through and what you know what I mean. And people
hmm
don't understand that. That's why I had to move out your environment. I knew with me being what I'm
Yeah.
gonna be, like either it's a rapper, music producer, global, whatever, all based off what I know and what I seen. Someone gonna see me go to a higher level, and me still staying in that environment, it don't work for you. It don't work for you ever.
No.
It's never gonna work for you. It's always gonna be like that,
No.
ever.
Mm.
No, I agree. It's like discrete. We were talking about this in a comparison the other day about the football matchup that you were watching.
Yeah.
How sports teams. A lot of people equate it this way because they're not necessarily that in tune with themselves. But I'm gonna break it down for you real quick. It's like a sport
Yeah.
team who plays to their competition, right? You're the best team out there, but if you play a shitty
Yeah.
team, you're just gonna play shitty, right? And I think
Yeah.
from a vibe standpoint, an energy standpoint. I think SeeReal, what I was hearing from that is it's very similar in nature,
Right.
right? Because you have a choice if you're going to be meeting somebody that's bringing any kind of energy. Specifically, we're talking about negative in this moment,
Yeah.
right? Like you have a
Mm.
choice. You have a choice to walk away from that negative energy, or you have a choice to engage in that negative energy. But even if you quote unquote win, whatever thing is going on in that moment with that negative energy, are you really winning? Because how long are you not going to be in that negative mindset? Like, and it was funny because I took my daughter and her very good friend, who's a boy. I guess I could call him her boyfriend, right? Took him to
You
the
don't want to. You don't
Took him
want to,
to
but yeah, my boyfriend.
took him to the roller skating rink
Just trying to get that low.
yesterday, right? So took them on their little date, and they're 11, 10 and 11 respectively, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there watching them do their thing, and like all of a sudden, this mother comes up to me, this random woman. She's like, because the two kids were sitting down with me now, and she's like, "Yo, is he with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he is." And she just like starts going off, and she's like, "Well, he said this to my daughter, and blah blah blah, and bullying and blah." I'm like, hold up, man. I'm like, cool. You know, you can talk to me. You know, my name is, first off, my name is Mike. Let me introduce myself. Like, if you want to have a conversation, I was like, you know, I'm not this child's father, but I'm repping him right now. You know what I mean? And so, like, I was like,
Yeah,
what do you need?
responsible.
So then, like, we said our piece. She gave me the father's phone number or whatever. But I was like, I'll pass on a message. That's all I can do. Like, what do you want me to do? And then, so, you know, as soon as she does this,
Fuck's sake, man.
she turns to the 11-year-old and she like starts like going off on him. So I stood up. I was like, "Yo,
You've done more damage in the last 2 minutes than whatever just happened.
I was like,
What's
yo,
so
I was like,
crazy?
we talked about this.
I'm gonna tell you
It's
this:
like, come on,
a lot of people that are adults are not adults. The kids be more
No.
adults than them. I see so much
Yes.
happening. That's why I don't. I tell you, if a kid tell you something, don't take them as a joke. Cause I see so many adults out here drinking every day. Where I'm from, the area in Nova Scotia,
Yes.
they love to
Yes.
drink.
I've
They love to drink and
experienced
smoke.
it.
Like check this out. I used to be the same guy. I used to smoke and drink,
Why I've got
and
custody of my daughter.
it's nothing to do out there, right? So this is why a lot of people, get into that area. Like it's not a big, huge city, but it's based on water. That's why I loved it. It's home. Home is where the heart's at, right? But like when you start branching out and seeing other things, that's why a lot of people, are so used to the way they were raised. You know what I mean? So like you get certain people,
When you're
Product of
really
your
young,
environment.
right? So
I find when you're really young and you see things, you think it's normal because you don't know any better.
see,
This is the first things you're seeing in your life, so you think it's normal.
exactly. So that's why I had to move up my environment because it's like seeing people
Yeah.
going around killing the other people. People arguing, just fighting to fight, to beat, to beef. Like that's the era that we're from. Like up here, they think we're crazy. If from that parent on point period. So from what we've seen from like hearing my boys getting killed and hearing people I grew up getting killed over nonsense, or either it's over a girl like somebody else just in this air just went to a party and I didn't know him, but I know of him. My people know him. It's just these people got killed over a girl. Like that
Yep.
stuff is just it don't make no sense. And people are now guys are getting
Yeah,
too
like no one should be dying over that
well,
shit,
guys
should
are
they?
getting so emotional
it's
now to like over a woman. Like
yes.
I was just talking to a girl like for like I don't know. She was like, oh, she felt right in love with me. She loved me. I never met her ever. She from my city. She was cool and everything, and then all of a sudden she disappeared. And you know why I think she disappeared? My energy was too high or different level. Like she got a lot of things she ain't have done. And I don't like to speak on
And
people because I don't want to say that. Because if that ever get out there, right? But I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
give her the confidence to do it. I try to lead people, but some people it's like a horse to a water. You know what I
Yes.
mean? They'll drink
some
it,
people you can feel it.
but they don't know where to drink it. That's my definition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, so
So
where am I
you meet
drinking the water?
people.
Well, that's the same thing. Like you're stuck into your habitat. Well, how did I get out my
Yeah.
habitat? Nobody's helped me get out of habitat.
Mm.
People thought I would never leave my city. I always said it multiple times. Well, I had my sister. She's not my blood sister, but I live with her. And she grew up the same area. She's from the same area as I am. Like she lived there for like uh eternity, kind of like me. But she's been up here for 6 years. She opened my eyes. Like, when I first, man, we going to Airbnbs and, it was like I was around all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of stuff. And I'm like, yo, I'm not never coming back to my city. I'll come to visit, but to move, nah, I can't because I just seen more to life. And now that I've seen this, I still want to keep moving on to more other places to
Yeah,
live. You only live once.
exactly.
And to know that you got this
Yes.
much out here
Experience.
and you just want to stay stuck in your environment is crazy.
And it's just that realization that if you're passionate about something, you can do anything you want. But a lot of people just don't believe it because of how they've been brought up.
Right.
I'm a firm believer of what you just talked on right there, SeeReal, and I'm going to ask you a question because, again, to the point that you made, I lived in Connecticut for the first 30 years of my life. That whole Northeast area, did my school. So I lived in a couple places, but in that same area. And it wasn't until I was like 30 or 31 where I moved out to Colorado, damn near 2,000 miles away from where I grew up. Spent 13 years in Colorado, been in Oklahoma for about a year and a half now. And now we're moving to Kansas City. So I'm with you. If you can do it and experience different things, do it and experience different things. My question specifically to you, what influence do you feel, and this is in general, whether it's on your music, you as a person or an individual, what effect has been had by you from moving away from like your place of origin? Specifically, we've talked a lot about Nova Scotia, so I'm talking more specific to Nova Scotia. What effect has that had on you since you moved from Nova Scotia, generally speaking?
Trauma, man. A lot of trauma, man. Just dealing with crazy shit, crazy people making me crazy. It's just like I'm gonna get shot one day hanging around these people. I'm gonna go to jail. Like, God forgive me, I don't like saying this, but I gotta. He's my cousin, but him and my dad are brothers, so I take him as a brother. He's been incarcerated for like 7 years, right? So like, when I start seeing that sort of stuff, I don't. People get mad when I like, mention, oh, you got a brother in jail, and I'm like, it hits me, man. You don't think I feel like I can't go see my dog? Like me and him, we grew up playing Halo together. Like we used to get up every night. His dad, man, used to take us to swimming. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy, man, because that shit like almost makes me cry sometimes when I'm thinking about that shit. Like I want to have I want to
Understandable.
have a chance to do that again, man. Like that's my brother. Like, you know what I mean? He had my
Yeah.
back. Like he wrote a letter to me when he went there. He said, "You know what, man? I moved over here just to be close to me," and I was so like far fetched. I didn't even see it, man. I see it now. Like
How do you mind me asking how long's until he does get released?
he's probably got like 25 to life, man. He's been in there 7 years.
Oh,
He
damn.
got he got convicted
Shit.
for a crime that he didn't do. He hang around the wrong people down here. He probably might not do the whole 25. Canada's different, but I don't know. He's been in there.
Oh,
I feel
shit.
like I honestly feel like he took the fall from it. I don't like to say too much within type of situations because certain people watch and be
I
like,
got you.
"Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's saying
completely
too much."
understand.
Nah, it's my brother. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I remember
No,
I'll tell you some real
yeah.
thing. When I went to court with him, I got messages from these bozos talking about, "Oh, we see what you're talking about, business that you don't know about." What's my business
Mm.
is my family. What the fuck you think I'm not going to
Yeah,
sit there and be
exactly.
concerned about
Of
my
course it's your
family?
business.
I don't care about none of that street
Mm.
shit because anybody that actually thinks they about that street shit will rat. And how many people get
Yeah,
out of jail right away and then be like, "How did you get out of jail? How the hell you do?
yeah,
All of a sudden you do 1 year and you're out."
yeah. How did that happen?
Right, serious crime people that get out. Like I know people, boys that did 20 years in the states and they get out. One of my boys
Mm.
just recently did like 4 years and got out, but that was a robbery.
Mm.
Like we're gonna talk about if you doing murder, don't expect you think you're getting out like that. If you do, you snitch. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's part of the
I know.
my mixtape coming out, Stick to the Code, really speaks on like real type of stuff that in that environment.
I
And what
I look forward to that.
right? So one thing I be trying to tell people, like, they say certain stuff like, oh well, that person not a rat. Obviously, you need the paperwork to tell the rat, but come on, facts is facts. Let me talk.
Mm.
You can't just kill someone and expect you get it right away. It's a murder.
Exactly.
When you murder someone, you gonna do serious time. And
Mm-hmm.
if they even accuse you for it, you're still doing serious time. You're considered as an attempt. So you
Yeah.
gotta
Absolutely.
serve your time. And like, for what my brother did and stuff, he's
Mm.
been told multiple times to stay away from these people. And sometimes a hard hit will turn to you got to learn on your own hit.
Mm.
He learned a lot. I took
You got to fall on that face sometimes.
right. I talked to him mostly a lot, and it made me like I told myself like the reason I left is people were still doing the same shit. People were doing still the same. Like I was talking to females sometimes, and I get caught up into like some female her baby father trying to kill me over. Like I was like, yo, I gotta get out of here. This is crazy. Like if my sister didn't help
Yeah.
me get out, I would
If
I
you're
would have been
getting them
gone. I would
feelings,
have been
you've
gone
got to
next
follow
year
them.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already starting to
Good job
distance
you got that.
myself.
Yeah.
No, I think
It's
that's the
only a
best thing
matter
that
of
you can.
time. If you know you're in trouble and it's heading that way, it's only a matter of time.
Oh, I could sense it, man.
No, I think you're right.
I've been to the point people don't believe me in this one. I've been shot at. Never told nobody. Now everybody gonna know.
I believe you.
Like it was in a
Mm.
certain situation. I ran up to some hood one time. I got jacked up. The wrong person. I'm like, yo, this is things just getting out of proportion. Things is just not. And
Mm.
this is why a lot of people now stay in the house. Don't get mad at nobody that actually like, oh, you laugh and stay in the house. In the house is the best thing. Outside in this world,
Mm.
you don't know if you coming back.
It's
No.
It's
wild. It's
wild out
so
here,
wild
bro.
out there,
Like
man. It's
people,
crazy.
people,
It's crazy.
people are doing the most of survival. Like you could walk into a store right there and then get robbed. You be the person to get shot.
Mm.
I just came to get some like milk, for my kids.
Mm.
Like I'm not
Yep.
saying I don't got kids, but I'm saying in general.
And yes,
That's
just in
what that's
general,
what
you
I
just
be
be
trying
any
to tell
random
people.
person.
And people go on bad. Oh, I don't want to move this. That place is crazy. Everywhere gonna get crazy. It's how you move.
Mm.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's crazy because when I lived in Colorado, it was funny. Like
Second,
right
I'll
before.
be back.
Yeah, no, go ahead, discreet. When right before we had left, we had seen a news article that basically like Colorado. I don't know what parts of Colorado or the government's whatever was hiding certain statistics of crimes. Some of them very violent crimes as well, and they were doing that basically just because of the fact that well, who knows what they were really doing it for. All added in the real things that were happening, like Colorado was actually one in a certain area, Denver specifically, they were talking about, was actually one of the most crime ridden places, whereas it had a completely different stigma and still does to some extent, right? But it's just wild, when you talk about data, you were talking it at the beginning of our conversation, right? People can take information that they have and construe it in any which way that they want to make
Hmm.
whatever narrative that they're looking for if they have enough control, right? And what I like about that is how you just talked about, getting away from Nova Scotia, getting away from the environment you were in, sensing what you were sensing because you have a different calling than staying around that bullshit, right? Which is why you moved ultimately.
I,
So
I just didn't want to be another statistic. Like there's every day a black man dies. It's the
it's
real stuff. Like
Mm.
every day a black man, not even a black man. Every day, every minute as we speaking, someone dies. We don't know what's going on in
Yeah.
this world. Like someone
too
end up
short.
dead.
Life is too
It
short,
is,
man.
and some
Life is
people
too
take it for
short.
granted out of that proportion.
It's so true, and I think that's one thing that I've gotten to know about you as much as I can before this conversation, see real, and getting to see your social media and stuff like that. Most recently, you're working on a lot of music. You're just putting stuff out there, bro, and I love
Mm.
that.
That's been that.
So
I just got no one to tell me shit no more, right? So I'm gonna just put out shit. I,
Mm.
I, I left
as
that
it should be.
environment where every time I try to rap, they always had something to say. Oh, this is how this should be. Why can't y'all show me? Three of my cousins did
Yeah, exactly.
finally when I left, and now they just still kind of say what they want to say, but either they like me, or they don't. I'm not. I'm still gonna
Mm.
keep pushing notes. I said I'll push music until
Exactly.
I'm dead
Yeah.
because
As it should be.
That's the way. You do it to
it's gonna be facts to demonstrate what the youth needs to understand. Like I got an album gonna come out in 2 years. My EP is coming out on my
yeah.
birthday. I'm producing myself. It's called Only You See Yourself. Then after that, I'm
Mm.
probably drop another EP called Water Full of Bullshit. Water Full of Bullshit means people be talking too much. You know what I mean? There's so
Yeah.
much in the water that a lot of water don't get cleared up. Like I speak like a lot of acronyms and a lot of metaphors. so people can understand and clearly they hear. They're like, whoa, this dude's smarter than he thought. You know what I mean? I might come
I
off
like that
like
shit.
the way I
I
said
love the metaphor.
certain words and the way to say I talk. That's me. Actually, there's not a lot of people that don't know stuff about me, and I'm gonna say because I put it out there. I actually have
Mm.
ADHD. So I'm actually like,
Oh damn.
my problem is I can't stop talking sometimes, and I realize that's a problem. You know what I mean? Because
We've all got that
Oh
problem
man,
I
yes.
say
sometimes.
too much shit that I'm not supposed to say, that I'm not scared to say.
Yeah.
I don't care who's around, I'll say
Mm.
it. That's why I could never be a news
Mm.
reporter. I could never be a prime minister. I would say too much that they be like, we gotta shoot this guy.
Well, listen,
You know what I mean? Yeah, I would say too
no,
much that I could never.
there's some truth there. There's some truth there because we've seen it in history. We've seen it in history. But I will tell you this though, what I appreciate about you saying that is like at the end of the day, we live this life for ourselves, right? Like we come in alone, we go out alone, ultimately.
Hmm.
And I
Yes.
think the most important thing that people lose sight of is the fact that you don't have to do exactly or how it's said to be done by the masses or by society. Like you don't got to be an asshole about things, right? Let's just be
Exactly.
clear on a general foundational level. But
I'm gonna be
You've got to
clear.
do what feels right for
there's
you.
nothing wrong with being who you are and walking that walk the entirety of your life, as long as you're not an asshole about it and disrespectful about it. Like it's your
Exactly.
life to live, and nobody else can ever tell you any different. And I like that you very confidently say that about yourself, and it translates into your music. Because for me, yes, there's the artist in myself. I'll speak to as an individual, and then there's the real me, not as an artist, right? But
We
at the end of the
outside.
day,
I
we're
like
all
that
one, right?
song. When I hear that one, I like that. We outside.
I, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But it's the truth. Like, we get outside with people like you to just have real conversation. Like that's why we say
Mm.
this is your show.
Exactly.
When you lead the conversation, we'll ask we'll ask some questions along the way. But like, what do you want to talk about today? Let's talk about your music. Let's talk about real shit. Let's talk about you as an individual. And that's what it's about. Because when you really go outside, like
Yeah.
anybody that really
Validation.
knows that means, like anybody that really knows what that means, when you really go outside and you could meet a real person, there's no
Yes.
better conversation. I will tell you this right now. I have had some of the best conversations in my entire life. One recently happened over the summer in Kansas City. Chelsea and I, we were out late night doing whatever we were doing in Kansas City, and we were walking up the street. Homeless dude started talking to me, started talking to him, talked to him for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was, about what his situation. And we just had a real talk. And I threw him a 20. We had some leftover food. So I threw him some leftover food in a 20 at the end of the day, because I could tell. You said it, SeeReal, at the beginning. You can read the vibes of a person. Like there are homeless people, unhoused people, however you'd like to call them, whatever your cup of tea is. But there are people that I've met in that scenario where I won't give them any money because the vibe isn't there. Like I could just tell.
You
But like
can
this
tell
dude
by the energy
specifically,
in there.
I had one. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. And
The body
again, it was just
movement
a
tells a lot
genuine
too.
conversation. Yeah,
Face
man.
structure as well.
And it was just a beautiful conversation. I was like, yo, take the cash that I have, bro, because I know you're gonna do something smart with it. You're gonna get some food. You might try to work it to some housing for you for a night if it ends up, like I just knew this dude wasn't gonna go buy some cigarettes or booze or weed or whatever. Some people choose. This dude was just a real dude. And I love having conversations like that. Love having
Yeah.
conversations with people like that. And I don't care if you are unhoused or a millionaire or a celebrity or not. Like, I just want to have a real conversation with real people. And that's what I've really
You see,
appreciated about what we've been able to do so far
what,
today.
what people don't understand, no matter how rich you get, no matter how broke you is, you're still a person. At the end of the day, you're still human. You still bleed the same.
Yeah.
You're still gonna die the same. You still cry the same. You still feel depressed the same. You still feel mad the same.
Yeah.
Everything's still gonna be the same. So people just think when their outburst turns and they turn to a different cycle, that yeah, this person not people. Like now I get the part about an asshole, but sometimes it's good to be an asshole so nobody can't play with you. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people
Yes.
Sometimes
that
you
will
got
just
to.
play with you because they see you're vulnerable. You know what I mean? They see you're so nice,
Yeah.
so that they don't see the asshole side of
Yeah.
me. I go right off right away. I'm an asshole. Everybody knows, but I'm the
Mm.
nicest asshole you ever gonna
Mm-hmm.
meet. So I'm gonna tell you something at the same time. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Because I got people around me that are assholes. They'll say shit right away.
Mm.
Like they hear a song that's not good, they be like, "Yo, bro, what the fuck is this? This is trash, man. Throw that out. Get back to the drawing board." Like
Mm.
they say shit. I've had rappers that tell me before one time, "Yo, man, you're not good at all, man. You should not even rap." Like I've had people say shit like that to me that I just tell people, you have to find you. It took me a while to
Yeah.
find me. So now, like, when people say shit to me, man, I just focus on the people that really saying good shit. Because not everybody going to sit there and just say good shit about you all the time. Unless they really mean it.
Correct.
No.
Oh, that's
So
true.
why am I getting all this all of a sudden? Because people really like my shit. People that don't know me will tell you.
Mm.
Like, I had one of my friends, his, uh, his uncle hit me up. Now, remind you, it's personal, but my sister used to date him, right? So it came to that level. He's homeboys like how I rap, and he's like, "Yo," I said, "Why do you call me?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to hear you. They want to hear you rap." I said, "What do you want to hear me rap?" He's like, "Off without a beat." I'm like, "For real?"
Mm.
I said, "So when you have OGs telling you they want to hear you rap without a beat, they know you can rap. They just want to hear more."
Mm.
So I never
What you
considered
can, what
myself a
you really
rapper.
do.
Just
Yes.
here, I'll tell you a big one, Boosie. Now Boosie never considered himself a rapper either. Then he just got good at it and
Mm-hmm.
just started rapping. I'm the same scenario. I started off like writing songs for fun. I didn't take that shit serious. But I'm like, yo, people said I could
Mm.
do something. Then I went into producing. I like producing better. I like making the beats. I love it. But I
Mm.
see so many rappers come on. I'm like, man, that shit is trash. I can do way better than that. So that's where it gave me the a feeling like, yo, I'm gonna do this shit, rap shit till I die, and I'm just getting better. Like I just put a song and did it probably like the nickel, like how Lil Wayne would do it. Wrote that verse. It's like you're not alone. But when
Mm.
I felt that because I seen so much people say so much, like people hating, and I'm like, yo, you're not alone. They hating and watching you, like for real.
Yeah.
You're not alone. And then that song just came off based on I've been listening to Jeezy a lot, Jeezy's new album. So I don't get
Mm-hmm.
compared to Jeezy, but if I get compared to someone, it'd be Boosie, and
Mm.
I get Cassidy when I really rap. I get
Damn.
Nas too. I get Dave
Cassidy can
East.
rap. Rap.
Dave East is my big favorite rapper still now. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of him.
Davies is dope.
But
He is.
no.
You can't deny him. Boy.
So
But that's the second time that you said something that is really sticking with me from this. Like you're just gonna keep doing this until you just die, and that's what I love about the the
That's the
the
attitude.
realness of hip hop. Like people that have a real passion for it, right? That like no matter what, no,
Mm.
I'm just gonna do this because I fucking love it. I love putting these messages out there. I love
Yeah.
telling whether it's my story or a story or
Makes
just
you
sharing
feel good.
something. It's just something that there's a genuine passion about. And again, I
right,
think that is where and when the best art is made. Like if you can do that, and
Yeah.
like you said as well, SeeReal, you're doing it now with an intent, today that you maybe weren't doing it within the past. And I can speak to that as well because the path that I've been on the last 7 to 8 months now, discreet at this point, it's night and day.
Yeah.
It's night and day when you put the real intent and you do some studying behind it. And when I say studying, I don't mean just about like it in general. I mean like you when you're just like intentfully trying to find yourself, like you're not forcing it, but you're like you said it earlier, I gotta find what my sound is. I gotta find what that is for me. Once you realize that and you start to realize and
Yeah.
get that information, bro, at least I'll speak for myself, I'll let you answer it as well, but for me it was a
Same.
game changer, bro. It's a game. Like I can hear
Yeah.
music today in a way that I did not. Like I can correct myself on a track today before I send it off to like discreet, or like I'll send something off to discreet and he'll be like, oh, hey, this one part. And I'm like, oh, hey, is it this part? And he's like, oh, yeah, I wasn't able to do that 6 months ago, 7 months ago. But I think
Yeah,
like
you know,
anything else,
after a while,
it's
if you
it's
stick
it's a
to
whole
it,
nother level.
see, here's the thing about music. You start figuring out, like, there's a big thing people don't understand when they rap. Your pockets, like, you gotta hit the pockets, like how it goes, like rhyme, the cat, the
Yeah,
that, the that, the fat, the lat, the that, you know, and that gotta hit that center pocket. I didn't know about pockets. You
exactly.
know, a metronome is another thing that will help people in time, but I don't say use it too often unless you don't know how to rap on beat. That helps, but once you learn, it's just like it's gotta come natural, and it will
Yes.
come natural, but it takes
Yeah,
a while. Now it just comes natural. I could just sit there and rhyme over the blue, and it will just come out of nowhere like that. That's why a lot of people want me to do freestyle because they like this dude might not be the best freestyler, but he can actually really rap without a
Hmm.
pen and paper. Most people can't just sit there and drop a
mm,
line. They can write music, but they can't rap. You're a real rapper once
Correct.
you
innit?
can rap, and I don't consider myself a rapper, but everybody can consider whether they want. I don't sit there and say, "Yo, I'm an artist." I don't sit there and say I'm the best artist. I technically thought when I first rap, I couldn't rap at all, but I still did it. And I got people saying like,
Innit?
"Man, you can really rap. Like, how do you do that?" You know what? When you're good at something, you don't do it for free. That's one thing. But also, when you're good at something,
Exactly.
you don't stop doing it. You're only gonna get better over time. That's like you working at a job. You gotta start off, you don't know
Too
shit.
true.
After them years of doing it and
I've
doing
got
it
to
and
leave
doing
for
it.
1 second. I will be back.
All right, yeah.
Do your
Sorry.
thing,
No, no,
discreet.
it's cool. It's cool.
Do your thing, bro.
The brain,
You're right though. It's just getting that knowledge.
yeah. So the brain will start like connecting, and it will start noticing patterns. So the pattern will start coming in. Like if I say something right now, like boom, I'll break a bone and connect it to your science, the chromosome. Like that's gonna mess to my brain to know that that's come off my dome. You know what I mean?
It's gonna
But
become
I'm
like
not
that
rapping
muscle
and
memory
talking at the
over
same
time.
time. Yeah,
Right?
right,
It's like going to the gym. Like eventually, you're just gonna build
right,
that, or anything that you're
right,
doing
right. That's
physically. Mentally, it starts to become memory as well. And illness. Our brother, who was I don't know if he's still in the chat line, but he talks about that all the time. Muscle memory when it comes to lyricizing as well. You're right, bro. Like the brain is gonna start to
oh,
connect
illness
things.
is my favorite fucking rapper right now, bro.
I mean, I've known
Yo,
him for
that dude can
25 plus
rap.
years at this point
I would.
almost.
I wouldn't even listen to him. I wouldn't acknowledge him. That's why I always praise him. I'm like, yo, he's just staying up the late. I'm like, yo, this dude can rap, like really rap.
He-
Like I be hearing the songs, I'll be like, what the fuck? Like I never heard nobody can
yeah,
rap like
it's
that.
I'm back.
I'm like,
we're talking about illness, discreet. Yeah,
Cool.
I've known illness for 20 years. I've been to underground shows, with him. We've gone to Miami together. Like man, all right, illness. We're like four flats on the Cadillac is what it comes down to. Huge
him
as
and his
love that.
producer that I'm cool with, Nary is dope.
Oh,
Oh, Neri.
Nary.
Oh, man. I know
Nary is dope.
Neri.
I give him
He is
all the
cool.
praise. Yo, I haven't had any chance, but I heard I got a chance to like hear the beats, but I have a chance to rap on it. That little damn beat tape come out.
Oh,
Oh my
when
god!
he
I'm
just
like,
put out, yo,
yo.
Nary is
I said,
Mm,
Nary.
I said no. He. I said, yo, I gotta put out a beat tape now at the end of February. He's like, you're putting out a mixtape and a beat tape. I was like, man, what
mm.
people don't understand, you can work a million jobs and you can still do music.
Yeah.
You always get time. You always get time for
Fit enough.
anything, man. You listen. I
Mm.
get in my room. I record off. I got a little mic that put in my USB and BandLab. These songs people be hearing, they act like they were in the studio. I'm like, I'm not in the studio. I'm in my room
Mm.
making that. They're like,
Exactly.
what?
Same
Yep.
with me.
They're like,
When it
there's
comes to
no
beat,
way. And I'm like, it's your quality, man. It depends on how you record the track, how you mix the track, you
mm,
know.
That's why you always got to have a good engineer. Always have a
Right,
good engineer if you're
right.
not doing the shit yourself, right? And if you're going to, at least know enough to be dangerous, right?
Well, see, I engineer my music myself, but like, say if I want to put out a real song, I want to go fire at it, I probably get people to help the engineer. I'm not no engineer,
Yes.
right? And I got my boy that engineers some of my stuff. He's a mentor. He's actually in the Rough Riders. I can't even remember his name to put him on like that, but he knows what I'm talking about. He's from I think he's from Cali or he down Las Vegas. He's down Las Vegas now. And if he sees he knows what I'm talking about, right? But I think Limb Beats or something like that. All I know, he did something for MC Light. Yo, so I tagged her in it. She responds. She was like, "Yo, that's your the producer." And he's like, "Yo, he's dope." I said, "Yo, you should let him produce for him." I'm that type of dude.
Mm.
If
I
I
know.
ain't getting on, I want to get my homies on.
Yeah,
You know, I want to get my
Yes.
people on. Like, you
Yes.
know what I mean? I don't
Absolutely.
care you white. I don't care
Absolutely.
you black. I don't care what you got in you. You could be an alien.
It's just
You
being
messing with
real. It's
me?
just
Let's
being
go.
real.
I'm a real
I
person, bro. Like
appreciate
I'm
that.
not like these other cats. Like, illness. We talk about this a lot. He's like, yeah, man. I'm just trying to stay out the way and stay in the lane. I like
exactly. Yep,
illness
I
because
know
illness is
illness.
like similar to me. Out the way, like and these cats
It's the
be
same.
trying to. He told me this. He said, yo, they try to say I can't rap. I'm like, bro, what?
That's
I'm like, they
crazy.
crazy. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, until I really start doing this rap shit. He said, I don't hear niggas say nothing no more. I was like, wow, that's
mm.
crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing
Can I,
And what's crazy, it's always been like that. It's sadly, it's always been
Mike?
like that. Like even back to the Providence days.
Are we
What's
still
up?
going to be on in like 15 minutes? Someone's come up. I'm so sorry, man. Like I can
No,
be
no, no.
back in about 10, 15 minutes if we're still.
hey, do your
You,
thing,
you,
man.
get
Pop in the
you.
news. It's a show.
Oh,
This
this is
is real
If
life.
we're here, bro. Go do your thing. We're having a good go, man.
right.
Go handle what you got
I
to
will be
handle,
quick
bro.
as possible.
Nah, you're straight. You're straight. But nah, like even back in Providence, like when we go to shows with illness, like people would all like illness wouldn't want to like get into like battles per se, right? And illness is in the comments, so he could add to this as well. But like I remember, because again, we're going 20 plus years ago at this point in time. But like illness sometimes just like because it was really a matter of sometimes you got to, like you were saying, you got to say shit to say some shit sometimes so people shut the fuck up. But there were at times like it was the wrong people talking and it wasn't even like worth it because it's like we were talking earlier, right? A sports team that plays to the competition. What I always appreciate about illness, like if he knows somebody's trash, he's not even gonna fucking pay it any mind, right? Like it's because there's no point in it, right? Like why put any kind of energy to something that really doesn't even fucking matter to begin with, or in this case, a
Illness
person.
is similar
You
to
know what I
me.
mean?
Like, if I know you trash, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna move myself and stay up the way. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? I could give pointers and stuff, but you ain't really my people. Why do I really want to fuck with? Like, illness is like me. You don't fuck with everybody. And I already know one thing. If I wasn't real how I was, illness would not fuck with me at all. He'd be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck with this nigga. You know what I mean? you know,
Literally, that would be about verbatim,
he'd be
bro. It
like,
really
man,
would.
no, no. And even Neri told me this. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, SeeReal, like, I don't release to a lot of people, but SeeReal, people tell me all the time, the one thing they like about me is you really are you. A lot of people you meet cats and they sit there and try to act like the cats that they not. You know how you ever see a dog
Mm-hmm.
and a cat and a mice meet, and then you see a mice eating fucking dog poop, dog food, and you see a
Yep.
dog eating cheese, and then you see a cat eating the mice food. That's how people be acting.
It's
That's
crazy,
how
man.
people be acting.
And those are
It's a
hard.
great demonstration
And
the
the
way I
fucked up thing,
demonstrate. I know.
no, it is. It is. That was and you said something earlier in the show as well that really resonated with me as well in the sense of being on like the same level of people, right? And I only keep like a really small handful of people that like yeah, because I live by a phrase, right? Blood makes you related, loyalty makes you
I heard
family,
that one. I
right?
heard that one.
So that's what I live by when it comes down to it. And there's only a certain like I'm more about the quality of the people that I keep around myself. Not I don't give a fuck about a quantity.
Mhm.
Like that, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like if there's value in a relationship that I'm in, whether it's my wife, my father, my sister, you, illness, discreet, whoever it is that I'm coming in, then yeah, man, like there's gonna be different levels to a relationship, right? But if there's at least value in that relationship that we can both give back and forth, right? It's got to be reciprocal. Then hey, cool, man. And I think it's hard to find those type of people these days. I will say it this way: those people are definitely a lot fewer than the fake motherfuckers out here who you've described them very, very well today. People who are just in general not who they really say that they are at the end of the day. And man, I think
It's
if you can
it's
keep people around you like
I,
that, You're rich.
Man,
You are rich if you can have people
I'm
like that in your
telling
camp.
you, it's like false advertisement. You know how you look at a McDonald's commercial and they say, we got these red hot chicken wings, and you get in there, they're fucking nuggets. The hell?
Yep.
You told me this was gonna be that. What the? What the hell is this? Yo, you ain't real. That's the same thing as you gonna get with people, like for real.
Yes.
And then when you notice that, you gotta notice that because if people are not authentic and real like you, real like me, or real like you, whatever you're gonna call it, you can't have people around you because they're gonna slow you down.
They're just going to drain your energy
Right.
because they're
That's where you get.
wanting
That's why people
something.
get
They're
so
wanting something from you to serve their own
right.
purpose.
You got people that watch you. But do you ever have people that actually reach out like illness? All the time we talking. Like some of them near be like, you so fucking random, bro, but you always like you just you, bro. Like that's why I fuck with you. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I just don't ever have the problem where I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna think about myself. I think about everybody else too. Because what the hell happens if you think about yourself all the time? Everybody around you start dying because you stop caring. You can stop caring if you stop caring about the people that don't care about you. Care about the people that care about you. That's how it works. I don't even know illness. I never met you guys. I met most of the realest people in my life off friggin' the internet. Like one dude from Philly,
Mm-hmm.
he's my um he's my best friend. He's Petey Crack's cousin. I didn't even know Petey Crack was his cousin. He put me on to so much game, man. I was there for him when he went to jail, and he's like, "Bro, you never switched up." I'm like, "Bro, one day we meet, the connection's gonna be there." I know him for years. Calls me all the time to
Yep.
make sure I'm good if I'm going through shit. He's like, "Yo, real, you good, man? I'm just checking on you, bro, to make sure, like, care for me." Oh,
There
fuck,
you go.
hold
You're good.
on.
All right. We got SeeReal's getting himself back. Yeah, you're there.
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Okay.
yeah, the call came through. Someone tried to call
Okay.
me, so I had to decline it.
Got you. Now we're good. Nah, we're straight. We're straight. I got you. I can see you.
Yeah,
Hear you.
no,
We're good.
like I said, someone called me with some number, and I had to decline it. So, like, yeah, straight into the voicemail.
Nah, you're straight.
But
But no, you were saying about not switching up, going through that scenario, not switching
yeah,
up.
no, like I just never switched ever, and people were loyal to me. I'm gonna be loyal to them. But one of this dude, I never thought he was gonna like stay with me forever. Like we got a podcast too. Our podcast is called The Genius Show. We talk about sports and we talk about reality shit, and then we give game to people that don't know real shit. One he
Yes.
gave was Applebee's was called some kind of different name before that, and a lot of people didn't know. I gave a little game about um your brain. Did you know that when you get a headache, if you go like this with your two hands like that across, that stops it? Like it's that your brain
No.
cells is like right kind of up in your forehead because your brain's right at the top of there, but it's
Mm-hmm.
the value to the nerves is right there. So I told my sister's boyfriend the other day. He said something going on. And he did it on the ground. He said, "Holy fuck, how'd you learn that?" I said, "No, living with my sister. I never used to be a researcher. I see people do that all the time. I research anything when people tell me something just to know it. But
Mm-hmm.
they'd be like,
Just so you can know. Yes.
and it helps. And it's crazy. You can learn all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't think that you would ever know.
It's wild. Like it is so wild. It is so wild. Like sometimes the rabbit holes that you can go down. Like I saw this post the other day. I forget who it was that had posted it. It was someone that I at least have some kind of belief in, where I'm like, all right, let me go like check this out. And they were talking about like the CIA website on the government website where you can go in and there's all this information about all this random shit. And so I was like, let me go check this out. And I went to the CIA website and started going down this little bit of a rabbit hole with like, you were talking about UFOs. There was shit on UFOs out there and like time travel and this and that. I was like, yo, I could probably sit here for weeks on end, just going down this rabbit hole here. But it's funny because there's a lot of information out there in general, but people tend more times than not to just take it at face value for what somebody says or something that they see on the internet. That is just the truth, right? Whereas there's the source or resource where you can go and really find out some information on your own to gain that actual knowledge like you're talking about as well. So I'm with you. Like, it's dope to be able to know where that source is so you can
My
go
bad.
check some shit, like really check some shit and learn some shit,
It's
you
so
know?
dry up here. I had to get a haul. It'd be dry as hell up here, man.
Nah, you're straight. Nah, you're straight. Nah, I got to fight with it too, being by the window, the
No, it's
brightness of the
another thing
light
I've been
changing on
going
me
through
here.
too.
And
A lot of people don't know. They like I don't know. A lot of people see me. They're like, "Why are you moving back and forth?" I was actually diagnosed with scoliosis. I got a curved spine,
oh
so
man,
it turns right. So I gotta like force myself with the pillow
what you
to stand up
readjust?
straight. But now it's like since I've been actually working it out, not working it out, but stretching it out, it's starting to hit to the nerves and shit. So it goes right through you,
Yep.
man. And like sometimes it would go right bad, like it would drain the shit out of you, make you want to sleep. So I order fucking Advil muscle spasms because I gotta take a drug test, so I can't do no
Nah, you can't.
heavy
Yep,
shit.
I can appreciate
But
that.
yeah, man, some days I'm just like, they're like, how do you go through it? I'm like, it's gonna get better because eventually, like, once I, keep doing how I doing, I've really figured out. I've been researching. I already found out certain stuff what you can do for your nerves. This guy is called the Natural Method. You look online on YouTube. He tell you a whole bunch of shit you can do for your brain. That's why I'm learning shit, and the shit works. I'm like,
Yeah, I just learned about I might want to check this out. Oil of oregano.
yeah, I heard of that.
I'm gonna do a little more research in general on that, but I just came across that like the other day, and I was like, if this shit really does what people say that does, well, that'd be kind of dope to be able to
Well,
take something
see,
like that that's gonna
the
help you out, whether it be mentally, physically, whatever the case
the
might be.
problem is we so relied on doctors. They get paid to lie to us, so they get
Oh,
and
absolutely. Look at the insurance companies. Like, if the insurance companies aren't getting paid, the doctors aren't getting paid from the insurance. Like, so yeah, sadly, like, if you watch enough, like, at least movies or documentaries that were based on real shit, big pharma, right?
uh-huh.
Like big pharma. Come on, bro. Like, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry over and over and over and over again. So like, yeah, more times than not, you are going to have a doctor who's going to be out here just prescribing more medication, right? But then what happens? Well, that medication that you're now taking for whatever it is, well, now it has side effects that's causing you to have to take some more medication for now your side effects that you're getting from this
Yeah, man.
original one. And before you know, you're on like
Doctors
15, 20
fucked me
pills.
up. That's probably why. Like all them fucking pills.
I don't like going to doctors, bro. Like, unless I absolutely have to, man, I don't go to the doctor.
I
I'm
don't
good,
like
bro.
taking pills. Man, I'm all natural with everything. Like even as a Muslim
Mm-hmm.
now, we eat once a day. Like my sister was like, "Oh, you're eating like all that rice is starch," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is hard on your back with the starch. I understand that, but it's not even true. It's the meat. The meat is not like it's hard to digest meat. When you eat vegetables, why do people think like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think the monkeys can move so damn fast and gorillas? All them like, yo, that shit digests. Let them eat some friggin' meat. They slow as shit. It takes
Yes.
I
Yes.
think meat. It takes like 2 days or 24 hours. Well, that's 2 days.
To like really
Break
break down.
down. Here's the thing we learn as being a Muslim. Do you know you're supposed to chew your food till it's water? So when you swallow, so it's easy to digest.
I've
I
heard
just
that
found that
before.
out.
Yes.
I'm like, what? So
Yes.
it's funny. This what happened when I was in the class. I was sitting there eating food, and they're like, us Muslims were supposed to chew our food until it turns to water. And I'm sitting there like, okay. I start chewing my food till it hits water. I'm like, and yo, it actually worked. There's so much shit that
It makes sense.
see. This is the thing that I'm learning now. We're taught too much stuff, but we're not taught the right stuff. So we're learning a lot of stuff that we're supposed to already should know, but they're not teaching us in schools none of that shit. They don't want people to
Mm-hmm.
get smart. Cause what the
True.
hell would they need the government? Why would they need all this? But now,
Exactly. If more people could be
yeah,
self-sufficient, oh,
listen,
it's a whole
everybody could
different
do a
ball
lot of things
game.
with itself. You wouldn't have add knocking the neighbor and say, "Hey man, you got a cup of sugar?" You wouldn't hear that. You wouldn't hear people asking for a handle. You wouldn't hear people, oh, how do you do this? You wouldn't hear people hating because they know how to do it for themselves.
But yes, we're all generally speaking, the whole way that it goes is that we're meant to rely on other people in
Right?
general, whatever
I
it
don't rely
is.
on shit,
That
man. Not
way,
nobody.
you
Can't.
can't, man. You
You gotta
can't
rely on
because
yourself and God. That's it. That's the only one that's gonna take
yes,
you through the
yes,
way.
and you got to push it. It's the truth because at the end of the day, to a certain extent, anyways, like in those dire type of situations, you're just gonna have yourself. I mean, you're gonna have people around you that might be able to support you in some way, shape, or form, but everybody has their own limitations and everybody has to take care of themselves as well, right? So it's dope to have that support, but you really got to go out and do the shit that you got to do, whatever that is, in order to make sense of whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to make sense of.
You know what's so crazy that what people that I tell you I learned so much from TikTok. This is why they're trying to cancel
Yo,
TikTok.
my wife and I have been talking about that for the
People
last
are
couple of
learning
weeks,
to get
bro. It's
education
crazy.
on TikTok. They'll teach you how to do math
Yes,
problems. You look up anything on TikTok that you want to learn, how to beat someone in a fight.
it's there. It's
It
there.
telling you
It's
anything. Yo,
there.
bro, I learned like about your back, how to, this one. It's like you can twist your spine back on yourself. Did you know every time I
Oh
posture, if
yeah.
we're like this, sitting down like this, boom. But if you take your other hand, you hold your neck like this and you push it, that's pushing the curve back, and then you let it go, and you do that like twice a day. Do it for like 3 weeks. You notice your neck will start going up like this again, and it won't be down like that. It's crazy, man.
Yes, it's because it's retraining. And you're right. You make a very good point. People TikTok gives out so much information. TikTok gives out real information because it's real people putting it out there. Like when shit's going on with man, shout out to fucking LA and everything they're dealing with
Oh man, I
the
heard
natural
about that.
disasters with the fires right now, right? But like when shit like that goes on, you're finding out more information from TikTok than you are the actual
Yeah,
newscast.
they hide the news. They don't
It's
want people to know the real news. Right now, we probably could be under attack, and
yes,
you wouldn't know.
exactly. It
Trump could
is.
be
It's
planning something
absolutely
right now.
wild, man.
People get mad at. Hold on, I want to speak about Trump. Trump not a bad person,
Yeah,
but
go for
Trump
it.
is just doing the shit that Biden was gonna do. But Biden had the balls to do it. He is
Yes.
getting rid of a lot of foreigners. No, I don't agree with them going into the fucking schools and just taking people kidnapped because that's gonna scare the kids. Like, come on, man, you guys gotta realize.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
get it. Trump is
Yeah, we
just
got to
trying
do
to
a better
send a
job.
message to keep it real. Like, it is a good way to do it, right? But you still hurting kids at the same time doing that. There's nobody that's
Do
gonna
it the right
disagree
way.
with that. But
Yes.
Trump don't have kids. I don't think. That's probably why. He don't understand that shit. I don't think Trump has kids. I'm pretty sure. Maybe he does.
It's well, he's got the youngest one that he's got right now is Barron. If it's his kid
Yeah,
ultimately.
but
Um,
and it's crazy.
but
He
it's
does shit. He's one of them guys. He say, "I'm gonna shoot a missile." No, Biden would say that. Oh yeah, just a threat. Trump, I'm shooting that missile, and you getting it. He means it.
it's
One of the real authentic
yes.
presidents that stick to what exactly. You know why he's that? Because he was a person before that. He's a human being.
It's
Literally,
that's what's intrigued me
literally,
about
Trump.
how he runs
You
it.
didn't remember that Trump show? He's like, "You're fired." He started off of that, and everybody used to
Yeah,
laugh at him. Look at
oh
him
my
now; he's the
god.
president of the United
Oh
States.
god. The Apprentice. Yeah, The Apprentice. Yeah, it's why it is. It's
And I'm just
wild.
like,
I mean, I've definitely heard some.
I'd be telling people, I'm like, well, look at Trump now; he's the president of the United States. You know how many haters he probably had that hate on him? People try to kill him
Yeah,
and stuff.
I will tell you this right now, though. Stories I've heard of him growing up where I grew up. I mean, this dude's a gangster, bro. He's a business dude. He's a real estate dude, and it's funny because I when I was living in Colorado, I was working at a senior living facility at the time, right? And this dude named Bob, who was originally from New York City. Bob told me the story because he worked on. We got Discreet back. We're gonna bring Discreet back on real quick. While I'm telling this story, Discreet, you just sit tight for this
Yeah,
story. So I was talking to this dude Bob. We're in Boulder, Colorado, and we're talking about Trump real
cool.
quick. Is what we're doing. Discreet. And Bob told me because Bob made like cabinets, installed cabinets, yada yada yada. So Bob got contracted to do one of Trump's buildings, one of the high rises or co-ops in the Bronx back in like the 80s, right? So Bob goes and does this whole entire job for this whole entire building, probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apartments that he did cabinets on, which is not expensive. Bob told me 2 stories here. Bob, number one, never got paid for this job, right? Number 2, there were a bunch of Polish immigrants and individuals that Trump brought in to help like this big project that he had going on at the time, right?
Right.
Illegal immigrants at the time. When this job was done, instead of paying these people, what Trump does, Trump calls whatever ICE was called at the time, and all these Polish people that had just worked on, his buildings all got deported without getting paid. So, hey man, a gangster's a gangster. Trump is a straight up gangster,
He don't
bro.
care.
Like,
He don't give a fuck.
He don't, man. Like, he really don't. If it's gonna serve him, cool. Like, he seems, again, I don't know the motherfucker, right? He seems genuine about his intentions about America, right? But at the end of the day, somebody like a Trump is always gonna get what he wants to get out of the situation, even if he's trying to help.
One thing I like about Trump, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
He's not fabricating nothing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Okay, he might be a little crazy. He bring out the
what you see is what you get.
He might bring out the racist people, but one thing I gotta say about it, they were already racist. He's not bringing the racist people out. They just get it now. They think they're more supreme. Oh yeah, Trump is saying that because Trump represents. I seen Elon Musk. You gotta watch out for him. He was doing the Nazi symbol. My sister showed me that. I'm like, this is who these people are, and this is why I always say this too. You can't get mad at some white people when they show you who they really are. Because some white people are just racist. Some white people are just, they love black people. Some white people just, they with us. Some white people, they not with us. Yep. That's just how it is.
I like,
you know what I mean?
For me,
and I just want to say, I'm not trying to just go on that side, but also too, it's the same thing with on my side. Some black people just will never like white people. Some black people will always, you know what I mean? You can't change what people were taught.
Exactly.
Yes.
I love, like, for me personally, I love the black culture. Like, comedians, they are funny as fuck. Most black people are just naturally funny to me.
Oh yeah,
they're just naturally funny. You know, the rapping, and I love the black culture. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that.
Who's your favorite comedian?
I appreciate it.
Like Dave Chappelle, probably. Well, he's probably not my favorite, but you know, he sticks out. And there's a few of them. Recently, I didn't used to like him, but that Aries Spears, is it? Aries Spears?
Oh, Aries Spears. He's an old comedian.
I didn't used to like him, but he's starting to some of the things he does say I agree with. But yeah,
because he says so much shit that he shouldn't say, but he's him, right?
And the Friday films.
I believe it or not, I talked to him before. I tried to get him on my podcast, and nobody believed me today. I try to find a message. He's a down to earth guy, but people just look at him the wrong way because the media gives him that image.
Correct.
The media gives some people these images that media you control. Think that's that, and that's why I was like, you know, people will always show me this about this celebrity and that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna hate them because of the way the media portrays them. Like, I got to get to know them for them.
Yeah.
And I'm never gonna hate nobody, but I'm never gonna dislike nobody. That's just me. But I just won't roll with them. That's it.
Exactly.
All right, let me ask you a question since we're talking about Trump and Trump a little bit. Trump has come out and said that he wants to make Canada the 51st state of the United States. What are your thoughts on that? And what are just like, you know, anybody around like Canada in general? What are the thoughts on Trump wanting Canada to become the 51st state of the United States?
First of all, if you make it that, we're gonna get the climate change that they say. You're gonna get the people that you don't want to get the people. You're gonna have the crime that you don't want to have the crime. So you want to make us Canada the first 50 state. People are not gonna agree with the rules.
No.
Canada does shit different. So if he allows us to walk around with guns, We have people from Canada that have been waiting to do that and kill people for years.
Shit, that
It's
don't
gonna
sound
be an
good,
outburst.
isn't it?
I got boys that they wish they could walk around with guns.
Mm,
You know what I mean? You imagine they just say, "Oh, Canada, you can walk around with guns, legal." Killing's gonna go up. People gonna
yeah.
die like left and right. I don't agree with it. I think it'd be a good cause for like certain people, but it's not what people used to. And Canada is not a country.
No.
Yeah, it would be
it's
it would
not
be
a
very
state.
interesting to see if that were even like realistically going to be able
It
to
would
happen, which in
happen
theory
though,
it
but
could be,
not in
right?
our time
Like how that would translate. Yeah, probably not. But how would that translate?
because
It's
our
just
prime
weird. Like they
minister
want to go
he's
out to
goof.
Greenland and shit.
Our prime minister he's goofy. Nobody don't like him.
Yeah, Trudeau. Is it no? Is it still Trudeau, or did he just
He
recently
just
step
recently
down, or he is stepping
resigned.
down
Now
or some shit?
we want Pierre. Pierre's an asshole, but Pierre's like Donald Trump. He
Okay.
does what he's gonna do, but
So
he's just gonna make.
maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe there will be an
He'll take a
annexation.
lot of shit. He'll take a lot of shit away that people in the East Coast, but like people need to stop relying on the government and getting collecting these checks. Like these, some of
Yeah.
these females down. We call it a Nova Scotia down home. That's what we call it. Some of the people will just lay down home, go and get all these damn checks, have all these babies, and won't work a day in their life.
Mm,
Not a single day in their life. And so if that does come
That's
prepared to
wild.
stop that, I'm with it.
Yeah.
People need to get up off their ass.
Yeah.
We've been working for years.
I've always
mm.
People
been
like us.
thought like it's been like anybody that's getting any kind of assistance. My general thought, I don't care who it is, what color, it doesn't matter. Like if you're getting any kind of assistance, you got to be taking some kind of drug test and shit. Like if you're
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Um,
Cause it's like, what are you doing? They
it's
don't make no
it's
sense.
it's wild, man. It's just absolutely wild. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is gonna be quite interesting. That's for damn
But
sure.
yeah, man, I think like I don't know what's gonna happen, but I probably only got like 10 minutes left because I know it's been like an hour.
Yeah, no, we're
Uh,
at an hour and a half, but we've been having dope conversation, and we are getting to the end. Are we gonna? I'm gonna let you say what you're gonna say, but I want you to think about this while you're talking in the back of your mind. If we're gonna get a freestyle from you today or not. So with that said,
Mm.
you go ahead and say what you're gonna speak on there.
yeah, I don't know. The way my body be hurt right now, I might have to jump again on the podcast. This will be a future. Like I
We can make that
ideally
happen.
can do a freestyle acapella, say something crazy, and that's about it. But I don't think you're gonna get a
I
real
think
one from me today.
Nah. Well, why
I
don't we
think
do this
we should
then?
catch him when he's in the mood.
Yes, no,
Definitely.
no, we will
Yeah.
definitely get you back, but we're gonna end up
Yeah.
winding down on here, and we're gonna make sure you're gonna close out the show, right? You're gonna end up closing out the show. So when you're saying goodbyes, definitely make sure anybody out watching, whether now or in the future on the YouTube channel or listening to it when it makes it to Spotify as well. Let the people outside with us see real. You just let them know where they could end up finding you, bro. But before we get there. Discreet, do you have any final thoughts or questions that you want to share with SeeReal before we let him
It's
get going on his day?
absolutely great conversation. I apologise for my distractions.
No,
Let's
no,
just
it's
say
alright. You got life too.
13-year-old girls are a pain in the ass. But yeah, no, today's been
I got a little
awesome.
dog, so I
Yeah.
understand.
Well, she told me she's staying in, and then I go live, and she wants to go out. So yeah, thanks, girl. No, I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
I can't wait
Anything.
to
She
have
comes
kids one
first,
day,
man.
man. Oh shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I can't wait to have
exactly.
that experience one day,
But
baby.
today, honestly, talking to you, SeeReal, has been fucking awesome.
No, it's
Like
been. I
that
will
EP
second
you
that.
were talking. Is there a date on it?
The EP is coming out in April, the 8th
Hey,
on my birthday,
I'll do.
There we
and
go.
Oh,
the mixtape is coming out January 31st. It'll be on my YouTube and
awesome,
SoundCloud. It's hard
brilliant.
playing around with rappers. You know what I mean? I'm taking it serious, and I got the deadline. I always want to put Future because people like you are always just you on there. You know, you want to hear something new. And I'm
Mm,
like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get Futures, and I already told Illness when I get
yeah,
the chance to do. I don't want him on the mixtape. I want him on my album or
Yep.
yeah.
EP or something.
Yep.
But
He
on my EP in April, I think I'm just gonna do it by myself
yes.
There
because
you
I
go.
want to show people I produced this whole EP by myself
I
in my
like
Yeah,
it.
room.
yeah,
That's what's
definitely.
up, man. Now I'll simply just add on to what Discreet said. Like This was one hell of a way to kick off 2025, having our first special guest be you and having the name SeeReal, because that's exactly who we are on the podcast. So it was on the live cast in this instance. So it was very fitting to have you out
Yeah, I
here
gotta
with us
get you
today,
guys
bro.
only see real shirts when I get a chance to get the clothesline back. So you definitely
Oh,
need to
yes, yes. Well,
come
we
on.
are definitely linked in. We're gonna let you close the show out in your own words with whatever and however you want to say it, bro. But on behalf of myself and Discreet, the We Outside Livecast, appreciate you opening that door with us today, SeeReal, and just coming out and having
Appreciate
some
it very much.
organic, authentic conversation. The door is always open to anybody that we ever have on our show, bro. It's always open. So you just say the word, man. If you got something to say, you got a project dropping or something, you let us know. We'll even have you pop in real quick, or we could share something. Make sure you
Yeah,
share
man.
it
If
with us.
you guys can share my I'll give you the. I have to send you the mixtape cover. The mixtape's coming out. Stick to the Code Part 1. There's gonna be a Part 2. Probably I don't know when. This one based on like real stuff I went through. Like there's a lot of things. There's a song called I'm a Boss. It explains how I'm a boss doing stuff for myself. That's like probably people's favorite one. I took features, it's open features, and people like, oh, you got Boosie, Yo Gotti on it. So I got Boosie with the period, and I got Yo Gotti on there. I got Gucci Man on there. I got Blood Raw. I actually tagged Blood Raw. He didn't respond, but he's on there. These are all open futures they put online. I see, but you can actually buy futures too, right? To
Yep,
get with them.
absolutely,
But I'm
absolutely.
actually gonna get them on there eventually, like real. But for the people that don't know, it's still real. It's still their
Yeah. Oh,
verse.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
It's a
recorded that.
promotion. So
Yeah.
right. So you got when they got Boosie and you hear me on there, they're like, what? He got Boosie. Certain people that don't pay attention, like, oh shit, he got Boosie. I got certain my
Yep.
homeboys,
It worked.
uh Big Boss, Marco. I forget where he's from, but he sounds like Rick Ross the way he sounds. He got his Rick Ross flow. I got my boy, it's the Fresh. He from Houston, man. It's crazy, man. It's supposed to be 20 tracks. I got 4 more tracks to get done on it.
Ooh.
I got Chronicle. He's down at I forget where he's down, but he's from LA. He like Mexican and shit. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of people. So you know I'm definitely ready to drop it. So and you can find me at SeeReal the Genius on Instagram, Facebook SeeReal the Genius.
Right.
I think it's SeeReal the Genius. I'm pretty sure. You just look up.
It is. Yep, it is SeeReal the Genius over on
All you
Facebook
gotta
as well.
do is pretty much look up only SeeReal or SeeReal Music on Google, and you'll find me. Pop up anytime, everything.
Awesome.
I'm literally on there. So, but no, I appreciate the opportunity. I don't get on this a lot, but this helps with me and this helps with you guys knowing who you are. And like I said, man, I had a podcast before it and I was on it, and these people blew up. But I know
Yeah.
I tell everybody, you guys are gonna blow up. You're gonna have big people on. Just don't
Exactly.
switch. Just stay on you. You know what I
Isn't it?
mean? So.
Man, that's the only way it's gonna be, bro. That's the only way it's ever gonna be. It doesn't matter who comes on that show, whether they have a big name or not. It's about the authentic people, bro, and that's what it's always gonna be about with us.
No, we appreciate
I
it.
think
So
I think I gotta let you guys go. The dog just
Yeah, I've got my
yeah,
dog
nah,
going
go
off.
do your thing. I gotta go.
Luckily,
I
it's not
gotta go
coming
do the
up on
same over
the
here,
mic.
bro.
you already know, man.
It's pissing me off too, man. I'm telling you.
I was just
Too
gonna say,
funny.
man,
Too funny.
if it ain't real, it ain't SeeReal. You heard me? I appreciate
Exactly,
y'all,
man.
man. It's all
Man,
love.
SeeReal,
Thank
we
you, man.
appreciate you, bro. You stay warm up that way,
You
bro.
as
We will
well.
definitely be in touch, my
All
dude.
right.
Yes, sir. All right, brother.
Awesome.
Peace.
Peace, bro.
Discreet.
That was awesome.
Discreet. What's up, man? We're still live, just so
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, man. No, that was cool. My daughter, she told me she wasn't going out, so I didn't tell her I was going live. And then during the live,
Nah, you're
she's
good.
like, "Oh, I really need to go." Oh, like, for fuck's sake.
Nah, you're all good, bro. You're all good. But we're gonna talk. I think we pop out maybe in a little bit, and we could do hip hop history later. I gotta go
Yes,
handle
bro. We
something
can do that later if you want.
with the house in
It's
Kansas
been a long
City.
one.
But we'll talk.
It's been a long one.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is. It is. So we'll talk here in a couple minutes. But again, shout out to SeeReal,
Definitely.
the genius, for
Thank
joining
you
us.
very much,
Check him
SeeReal.
out on Instagram, on Facebook, at SeeReal the Genius.
Yes.
is where you can find him. We appreciate that. That was a dope talk. But yo, it's back on and popping street. 2025 has started every Sunday going forward. Pretty much every Sunday going forward.
SeeReal on Facebook. If I don't find him, I'm gonna ask you to hit me the link.
Yeah, I got you. Not a problem. But you have a good rest of your day, brother. I will talk to you later. And everybody that opened that door with us today, we appreciate it. Y'all be good. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Fridays, we're bringing our hip hop history segments to you.
Yes.
And every Sunday at around this time, 10:30 a.m. Central Time.
Yes.
And or whatever time it is where you live right now. That's
4:30 UK.
So make sure, man, go follow us on the YouTube channel. We made our own home on Instagram and on Facebook for the We Outside Livecast. So it's literally just at We Outside Livecast. Go follow that. We're going to be sharing all of our hip hop history throughout the entirety of the week on our stories, on our posts. You can go back to the YouTube channel and look at every show that we've done already this far. This one included, if you missed it off the jump today. So that's what we're
There's
about.
Some awesome shows
a lot
on
more
there.
information coming out to you. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the motherfucking truth? So, Discreet, I'm going to let you go for now. I will talk to you here in a little bit.
Peace, my man.